The usual premium swings and roundabouts galore, but as per usual, the FPL Addicts helping out to before. Welcome to yet another edition, heading into another game week, this time game week 9. There may be a lack of spice on the field, but off the field there is an early deadline creeping into our minds. Welcome once again to another edition. Let's fire away. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you may be around the planet. Tuning in, Game Week 9 edition. It's yet another tale within this fantasy season where things, narratives fluctuate very, very quickly. Now, usually there would be someone I can introduce, let's say, and it was meant to be a reverend, but I've not had much response. So at the moment, I'm going solo, and with a solo starting with an S, maybe this could well be a short duration podcast. But more importantly, as long as it answers all of your important questions, that's our main intention now. Because of the lack of usual panel members here, we've got an integral community team that's got to play a strong role, especially for this installment, more than anything else. And yes, the cartel was prominent on Twitter last weekend. And to be fair, personally, didn't pay a whole lot of attention, but it was a fantastic war between the keyboard warriors. Let's say that. And good morning to you, Colm. Once again, thank you for being one of our greatest fans and tuning in each and every week. And Gary, to you as well. Hello, yes, to Colm, but also it is a bit of a solo space pirate indeed. Miriam downtown on Merseyside territory. Good morning to you. Owen, who has popped by from the 1-0 franchise. The other boys on the same holiday as your barber. Love you. Legend. Jeez, that's a cracker sledge. And Owen, yes, welcome to our page. Without further ado, let's get straight into where everyone is at these days. And I think it is important to start with our podcast members, because if you guys have followed along the way, it hasn't been a strong start when it comes to defending your own crown, sort of languishing near the bottom. However, we've got some new emerging contenders. So starting off with the Addicts, then we'll go over to Women's League very shortly, then to the Public, and then we'll go through the transfer trends, and you know the apple indeed. Madison throwing the dart. Yes, sir. So to the podcast league we go. Now, as per usual, Jack is on the bottom. 39 points. See how we got on. And it's a bit slow, the computer. And tell you what, who's also slow, especially trying to rescue a challenge of his own. It means Saliba, and he is suspended for a couple of games. -3 points. Madison got an assist. He's kept Salah. It was a really good hold that. Harlow Bellis, I don't know what you're doing there. Haaland captain, just for plenty of other people, didn't quite work out. Vardy got his goal. That's a great vintage pick. Roll back for 2015 at 16 days. And what a great pick this is. Iliman Njai with a goal, maximum bonus, played 80 minutes. His stats are encouraging too. And a great run lies ahead for Everton in the short term as well, with 5 of the next 6 fixtures rated as a 2 on the fixture difficulty rating. On the bench, not much to see there when it comes to points or missed out points. That's the usual fairy tale these days. Yeah, forgot my side. I forgot I was 5th for a moment. Blimey. 42 points. Flecking with his 4-pointer. Now, if you guys didn't know, I may have posted a lovely montage on Tuesday, and I don't usually reveal my own birthdays, or I'm probably coming back from elsewhere. That is how my cameos have gone in previous seasons. But yes, I did turn 24 on Tuesday. And to sum it all up, this is fantastic. Chris Wood scored a goal. Forest scored a clean sheet. And for the fantasy side, it was a wham, bam, shabam sort of evening. So I could not have asked for much more on the special day. And to those who passed on their wishes through the course, thank you so much. It is immensely appreciated. So the double Forest boys were superb. Dwight McNeil as well, getting an assist. So he's had a really good start to the season as well as an asset. It could be an enabler in some retrospects. Rogers got 6, but he wasn't on field initially. It was only because Bukayo Saka didn't feature at all in the Arsenal's squad sheet away at Bournemouth, and it was a dire day for the Gunners indeed. Mikolenko was 7 points now. I've had him since the start. Don't ask me how he's still here. And for the first time he delivers, of course, he's somehow on the bench. And look, the way I look at it, Arsenal been encouraging from a defensive statistical standpoint all campaign. I don't think he was ever going to go on the bench. Aino at home looked solid. Alexander-Arnold at home to Chelsea. You don't bench Trent. And then the rest, you're going to play a front 7. But I think a different dynamic to my side this season as opposed to last season is that it's not obvious who the 8th striker is each week. And Morgan Rogers performing so well, especially in the last 5 weeks. It makes it difficult week on week in terms of who's going to take up that 7th attacking spot on field, as opposed to last year where you had Cameron Archer, especially in my team specifically, and you knew you were going to bench him, and he would only come on the once in a blue moon. But it makes it difficult. Chris Wood got benched away at Chelsea, and guess what? He scored. It's only between Wood or Rogers each week. So that's a standpoint on my side. But the Reverend, the Brandt waiting game, only 33 points, but he is mid-table at the moment. Respectable so far. Had Flecken, got Matters assist. Rogers, he scored a goal actually too, and got booked. Not much occurring. 10 points on the Brighton keeper. Now, this was big, and it seems in recent times Brighton's defence has improved and off to a really good start to the season, along with their attack in mainly Danny Welbeck. And he seems to be ticking along, but he scored once again away at Newcastle. Terrific. 2 bonus, 6 saves, clean sheet. Can't ask for any more. And if you're a Verbruggen owner on the field, you are just living the dream indeed. Chris Reed, who's also had a fantastic start to the season. 2nd spot right now, 421k. We can understand how difficult it is to really take a grasp on a solid rank very early into the season. 41 points on this occasion. Has Saliba, who he's got to sort out. Bonanote's been an excellent shout for him, scoring a goal, which certainly resurrected Leicester's comeback from 2-0 down from half-time. Had Rogers too. Ollie Watkins has been an awesome pick for Reedy, going a bit outside. He seems to be one of the best strikers in the game, arguably at the moment, based on the fixture run he's had and how consistent he has been able to deliver. That's it from our podcast standpoint. Before I get into the public league, any other discussion points you guys want to talk about, you want to get my opinion on it, fire it away. We've got plenty to discuss on the show that lies ahead today, including who are the best Spurs attacking assets to own. Having all of us seen the re-emergence, Son could well be back. Solanke and Johnson, the 2 most popular assets, unable to deliver despite Tottenham scoring 4 goals. Also, Arsenal replacements. I know they were up on the rise 3 weeks ago, but they have performed quite underwhelming within that solid patch they have had. Public League, and it is Seamus Gray, who's still currently leading by 13 points. Early days, Rhino Crossland not too far ahead. Tom Stone's having a solid game week himself too, from a Public League standpoint. Before getting to the women's, another interesting topic point. I think we've all got to discuss the community here. Which premiums to go for? Because at the start of the season, it was Salah and Haaland. Then it quickly became Saka and Haaland because of Salah going back-to-back blanks in 2 games, which you would expect him to deliver, both against Bournemouth and Nottingham Forest, and only getting 1 assist within that spell. Cole Palmer has not slowed down. We thought he may have after his Man City opener, but he got 17 points away at Wolves. He's managed to deliver every time in a home game. More on that in his captain's corner stats. I mean, who knows? And now Salah is back with 3 returns in the last 3 game weeks. If anything, hope you're all having a fabulous Thursday wherever you may be. Just give me a moment just while I try and get the Women's League up just very, very quickly. Anyone been surprised on certain trends through the course of the season? I think it's been fantastic to see Morgan Rogers dominate. He didn't get his rewards when he really shouldn't have very early on, but he's done all right ever since, which has been the important part. I think it seems that the third striker slot this season are quite important too, especially for how we structure up. Chris Wood had a great run of fixtures to start the season. Solanke was disappointing, I believe, at the start, but he's gone okay now. Watkins was slow trying to get his minutes up, but he's emerged pretty good. Kai Havertz has been solid, especially in his appearances at the Emirates Stadium. All of that. We will get to your questions very shortly, just after I do a Women's League update, which seems to be taking a while to try and get to the correct tab. And yes, we finally are here, giving it the respect it deserves. And the underdog is on top, only by 4 points. It been Sophie Mira, one of our favourites on the channel, currently in 5th spot. Very tight, 12 points separating the top 6. Just like that, it could really be one return or one captaincy call going whooshka fireworks, which becomes the game changer. Now, before we get to our discussion points, let's get to your questions. Here we go. And we've got plenty. Gary, great question here. Thinking Kulu in for Martinelli. I think Kulu's actually not a bad shout, to be honest. It seems that the Spurs are going to score a fair bit this season, and it really depends on where Kulu's positioned. But when he is positioned, especially on that right-hand side, driving into the box, he seems to involve himself quite well. And probably not getting as much credit as he might deserve. He's certainly not in the top 2 preferred Spurs strikers at the moment. I think based on underlying numbers, Son Heung-min maybe, and then Johnson, and then Solanke. That's how I'll probably order it. Definitely not East Basuma, unless he's Rocket Man delivering like Elton John did 40 years ago. Keeping Saka. It's a good question. I think this has been one of the big topics of the week, along with the Saliba one. Right. I think 2 things. One, it depends how many transfers you have. If you've kind of got 5 or 4, you could see merit in trying to move one out. If you still got your wild card to play, you could easily get him back in game week 12. And I think game week 12, that November international break, represents as a really good time to get back onto your Arsenal assets and to move off them for now. What have they? Liverpool at home, Newcastle away, Chelsea away, and arguably Arsenal attackers can still return in those fixtures. I don't think Newcastle have been that flash this season. Liverpool at home is usually tough, but the last 2 seasons have been encouraging for Arsenal, so managing to score 3 goals on both occasions. And Chelsea away, yeah, Chelsea have been good recently, but defensively they're still out of sorts. So Saka usually likes to get on the end and assisting some big deliveries. Gabriel's an intriguing one. I do see a few people go out with him, but I mean, he scored at the Etihad. Oh, he's returned at the Etihad. Scored at Anfield. Scored at Tottenham Hotspur. Scored at Chelsea 2 seasons ago. I'd be very scared benching him. That's how I see it, yeah. Kyle, 5 million. Look, can I be honest? It's a very hard rut to get out of sometimes. And I don't usually make these confessions on the page, but even when lower rank I am, it's not that I tend to enjoy it. It's just I kind of lose interest, which kind of sucks because you should be always enjoying football. And because I enjoyed it so much, may I think a really good rank may have played a part. It shouldn't be the case. I understand. Or maybe it's because Ironman training of my own. I got an Ironman race in under 3 weeks. It just got in the way. And you can't balance training, do work, and stay out to watch football. It just doesn't work. You need sleep. It's as simple as that. But if you don't have much stake during the day, yeah, no, do it. But staying up for double headers ain't easy. But it's all going to change in 3 weeks because I am going over there. Colm, Saka replacements, Haaland, TC in game week 12, yes or no? I'll have to get my phone out. Excuse me, guys. I don't even know who City have in game week 12. However, game week 9 against Southampton's a funny one because he managed to deliver against West Ham away from home. Got game week 2 home to Ipswich. He was very dominant that day too. Against Spurs. You could see it, but I don't think a lot of people would be going for that risk, to be fair. Great questions as always. Running solo. Walker Peel. Great to see you. I hope your stint at SBS went really well. Lovely for you to chime in with a comment. We miss you on here. It wasn't planned to be, but I am just rolling with it. And sometimes in life, the show goes on. Just got to roll the punches. You are wildcarding Colm in game week 12. Very nice. And thank you for dropping by, Ollie, by the way. Great stuff that you're doing, especially with your media career at the moment. Colm, wildcarding in 12th. Okay, yeah, that's fair. Seems a lot of people had popular pockets in terms of where it'll be game week 3 or game week 4 and then game week 12 and whatnot. So we got that. Guys, what do you reckon about Spurs assets at the moment? Do people have a favourite as of right now? In terms of attack, is anyone on the defensive points as well? It makes it intriguing. Sorry, I'll just send something off. Apologies. So we got that. All of that of kind of such. Just try and get back. Which premiums to stick with for now? I'm not sure if this has been covered, but so Saka. Now, this is a point I got to address when I got into my own team. If you've got a good cover up, for example, Morgan Rogers, he's at home to Bournemouth, a great fixture, fast and Villa, in really good form. And you see a good opportunity to roll transfers if you're on 1 or 2. I'm more inclined to probably hold in Saka, and we saw press conference notes the other day that it was somewhat encouraging for Mikel Arteta. Arteta doesn't really give us a lot these days, let's face it. So it could be that. I'm looking at Saka to sign with a game week 11 captaincy in mind. I think Tottenham are at home to Ipswich that weekend too. I mean, Son is a great captain for that weekend especially. We see he's capable of a huge hauls. That's what he's got on his side as opposed to the other premiums. I'm not sure if Saka's got it all that often, a huge hauls. He was chiming in consistently. Cole Palmer, I believe he is. Salah was, but maybe not as much this time around. I don't know. Who knows? So, right now, who are the best premiums to have? I think at the moment, still going Haaland, despite having blanked 3 times in a row. Based on the fixtures, his next 3, I've got to have to go Cole Palmer because Newcastle home, you'll find out more in the captaincy corner. Got a double-digit haul. Manchester United away from home, that's a great fixture for pretty much anyone these days, ever since Sir Alex Ferguson left 10 years ago. And Arsenal at home. Arsenal can be frail at the back when it comes at times to London derby days. Arteta's certainly made them better in big occasions, but it's a game that Chelsea would be up for, especially if it's at Stamford Bridge. Saliba Replacements is another one. Arsenal assets in general being spoken about. I think he's worth a transfer out now. You know how long he's out for. But the replacements are quite intriguing. If you haven't got Trent, I think Trent's been a solid option so far. Probably wouldn't be my number 1 when it comes to this. I don't know who the number 1 option would be. Well, guys in the comments, go for it. if you've got a big top option for Saliba replacements, by all means, hit me up. Vardiol's been really good recently. I think he'll be number one for me at the moment, if you can get to him. But others worth noting, Ryan Nate Nori at Wolves already got 4 attacking returns. I don't think many people would have pictured that despite Wolves being bottom and they've only had 1 point from their first 8 games, but he did score, I think, at home to Chelsea. He scored away at Brentford in a 5-3 defeat. Nathan Collins and Brentford's got 4 attacking returns, just slipped up there, with majority managers not even realising, to be fair. James Justin's had 3 attacking returns from Leicester City, and he went for a big skyrocket of an attempt away at Arsenal. So maybe in a bit, reminds me of the 2020-21 season, that guy. He just pops up for the big games. And Luca Dean from Aston Villa is on 3. It's a great opportunity to go different, I believe, from Arsenal assets. You probably wouldn't go to another Arsenal asset at the moment from Saliba. I know there was a bit of an impetus to get on them 5 weeks ago, but they just seem to concede when we're really expecting them to manage their solidity down back and keep that clean sheet for us. But it doesn't seem to be happening. Interesting sides with good fixtures long term. Let's talk about Fulham and Newcastle. Newcastle have lost their relevance, especially in the last few weeks. However, Fulham, especially with the emergence of Raul Jimenez, it's been a complete different story since Rodrigo Muniz, a fan favourite from last season, has been benched. I'm just trying to find the article at the moment. Fulham 3-1 home defeat, quite disappointing at home to Aston Villa, but their fixtures coming up are the following: Everton away, Brentford at home, Palace away, who've looked, I think, awful start of the season. Wolves at home, Spurs away, great fixture, Brighton at home. So as Jimenez, Robinson could be back in the frame again. A couple of hard weeks. Joachim Anderson, 4.3 million, great bargain. But Alex Iwobi, Adama Traore, and now I've got a thing about Fulham. Now, if you guys didn't see the announcement last week, I am actually going to one of our home games in December. I am so excited when they are at home to Brighton Thursday night. Cannot wait for a cheeky trip down Craven Cottage. So there's options there. Newcastle, Chelsea away, Arsenal home, which is actually not a bad fixture for them. Forest away, West Ham at home, Palace away, Liverpool at home, not bad. Brentford away, Leicester home, Ipswich away. We think the best option from outside right now, based on this season's form, first of all, Isak's been incredibly disappointing. I'll put him at number 3, Gordon at 2nd, and Harvey Barnes at 1st. I think he'd be my top option. Anytime he goes on that field, he seems to be quite efficient these days. So there you go on Fulham and Newcastle. Are any of you guys considering them? What's your take on them at the moment? Or do you feel, as managers, as a general consensus, there's other areas to prioritise at the moment? We've got that. And before I even forget, we should have a look at the transfer trends. And there are some big ones. There's probably names we haven't, which has come as a surprise that I haven't even mentioned yet. So we'll go to it. So Vardiol, Son, Boomo, Raul, Palmer, all not coming as much as a surprise. Smith Rowe is making his way out despite the good fixtures potentially on the horizon. Havertz has gone out. I know he did have an injury concern, but I think he was the more likely to get up between the North London pair. Luis Diaz just can't seem to get a good run at it at the moment. And Saka and Saliba, the obvious too. On that front, fixtures, I mean, in fairness, just based on it, just rolled off half of them. There's a few on Sunday as a result of European commitments, Spurs in action, Man United in action. But I will say this. If you're in London, if you're driving a tube in the London Underground or whatnot, good luck, because there is going to be supporters flying. If you work at a pub on Sunday, good luck as well, because that is 4 games from different parts of London, one starting from the west in Chelsea, south, Palace, Spurs, the east, West Ham, Man United, and Arsenal, Liverpool up north. to just finish it all off. Rightly so on Sky Sports. Gary Neville, Jamie Carragher, waffling each other's ears off. More importantly, it's an early deadline. Do not miss it. For the love of your life, just don't miss an early deadline. You'll get caught out, or else you're going to be waiting next week. Leicester City, Nottingham Forest. It's not even that much of an important game, to be honest, unless you're a Chris Wood owner like me. Let's go. Don't miss it. That's all I'll say. London Invasion. Gary, you are spot on. Dunk could be an option. I reckon he could be. I don't think Brighton are getting talked about enough these days because these big sides are just grabbing the headlines as part of our usual conversation at the moment. So there's that. And voila, bon appetit. The rest just right here. A standout game for me, I think. This is hard. I believe I've got to have to go Arsenal Liverpool, not because of how big it clashes, but also from a fantasy perspective. There's a lot of managers who are probably going to field and bench players within the same game. Like if you had Gabriel and Trent, you'd probably want to field both of them. Surely. You'd say so. Got that one. Arsenal attackers, a lot of them getting rid of them. But Arsenal aren't afraid to attack in games such as this. So that's probably my go-to. But all the other matches important in their own rights. Man City, Southampton, that City team sheet. Erling Haaland too. Woo. There's fixtures to Gameweek 9. And so Spurs assets. Now, I need to talk about something because I need to get a bit filled in on this because look, when the fantasy website published something as controversial as Son Heung-min's assist being removed home to West Ham, I can understand it. I probably haven't looked at it properly because I'll be honest, I'm still waiting for Solly March's assist points from 2 seasons ago. Still absolutely ropeable about that. What do we think? Was it an rightful decision from the game to get rid of his assist points, or do you believe that the game should have waited a little longer to even award something in the first place? What do you reckon, guys? Let's bring your comments in. This is a huge discussion. Probably a bit of bias involved between the owners and the non-owners. Big game for Son. He had 2 games off. Finished off with 8 points. Probably the go-to premium. Who knows? Mitchell got his 2 goals in the Champions League. What sort of picture does that paint as we head into a home game against Southampton, where he has scored on both occasions against them? Scored twice away at St. Mary's. Last time I met in the top flight. Very intriguing indeed. While your comments come up, or whatever you're trying to manufacture, do we talk about Cole Palmer again? It's only because, is he a hype train or is he still a real deal? Because it seems he's already rose up to 10.9 million, which is nearly staggering to say this, nearly $1 million more than Arsenal's Bukayo Saka and Son Heung-min, which is nuts. And what we're all thinking pre-season is that is he able to live up to our 10.5 million price tag? But it seems whatever he established from last season has just given him that platform to still be confident on the ball and continuously deliver. Some great fixtures ahead. What are we thinking as well for Cole Palmer? Who knows? Here we go. End of the game week when bonus is done, and then any assists add also. Yep, that's fair enough. On it, Colm, it was right to not allow it, but it should never been given as an assist in the first place. Now, great point. I really like that end part from you, Colm. So what is the go with the game in itself? Because whoever's running this admin or being awarded, I seem to have pressure on them in terms of trying to deliver with a decision. And I agree that they should wait till the end of the game week instead of awarding something and then having to remove it later. I think it's a volatile environment trying to award assists sometimes, but he got the assist. A great podcast page as well, by the way. So, yeah, it's a hard one, isn't it? But I agree in the fact that you may as well just wait till the end of the game week if you're unsure, and then you can look at it properly from a clear state of mind even look at it on a Saturday night once that 5:30 game is done. That the brain's probably brain dead by then. Let's face it, if you're running that account, got that. All right, it's pretty much smashed through the discussion points and everything that is necessary. So now it's time to go on to the team. Now, guys, I've got 3 transfers. Use my wildcard, 2.2 million in the bank. 2.2 if you're a Richie Beno enthusiast. I'll just get my team up, making sure there's no permission denied. And I don't think there is. There are a couple of flags. So 2 flags, 2.2 million. Seems that good things are coming in too. And speaking about a second person who's just joined for the first time in a good while, the absolute governor, sports media star himself, Ollie Walker-Peel. Hello, my friend.
Hello, mate.
Hello.
How are we doing?
Good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm very, very well. Just saw it on the old feed and saw you were running solo, mate. Thought I'd have a look. I know it's been a while on this old front, but good to see you, mate.
Mate, it's great to see you as well. How's the commitments been for you recently? I did notice that you've done a bit of work at SBS in recent times.
Yeah, I've been up
How's
to Sydney. That was good fun. SBS was awesome. Loved it. Loved every second of it. Just finished uni. Finished on the class at uni. So you know what that means, mate. More time to focus on the old transfers. Nah, to be honest, there's not a lot of time, to be fair, but I'm still enjoying things.
Mate, that's awesome, mate. And congratulations on getting through your uni course, more importantly, as well. If you don't mind me asking, especially from a life ambitions perspective, I know you got big things to focus on later down the track, but it might be important to potentially take a break. What are your plans? Are you going to go travel a bit, or are you going to sort of stay at home and try and find work, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm going to be
Whatever
doing
you're
a bit of.
comfortable to say.
I'm going to be doing a little bit of work travel, mate, which helps.
Awesome. Where are you heading to?
That'll be fun, I suppose. Heading over to Barcelona in a couple of weeks. So I'm heading. I heard you were saying you were heading over towards London, so I'm pretty close to your part of the world in December, mate. I'm heading over a little bit earlier, but
yeah,
a little bit of work and travel and all the rest of it. So we're living life, mate. We're living life.
That's good. What are you covering down in Barcelona?
I'm doing the cerebral palsy World Cups, cerebral palsy football World Cups. So it should be good.
Fantastic. That's
Should be
so
good, mate.
good. That's awesome. I think more importantly, the community is just absolutely buzzing to see you appear and just give an update on life. It's amazing to see all your social updates, especially, mate. I think it's fantastic. Along with your radio calls to footy too, how did that go this season?
Yeah, going well. So that's looking good. It's nice to see a couple of familiar names in here from years back. Colin particularly, Miriam's back. So it's good to see that there's still some familiar names kicking about in the Addicts community from right the way back from when I was involved. So it's good fun. It's good fun.
Oh, that's good. It's so good.
How you been doing in FPL this year, mate? I've not really even looked too much. I think I'm out of all the Addicts leagues now.
Well,
Colin.
Not quite. I don't think we're
that's
pretty
ridiculously harsh.
No,
that's so harsh.
No, I understand where you're coming from. Just give me a moment. I'll actually get back our leaderboard because you're actually still in our league. Look, mate, we thought you were on to bigger and better things, but when you mean bigger and better, you're just popping by on a Thursday night. And this is just what I love. I'm living the dream in the moment at the moment. I'll actually just get the screen up, by the way, because we're pretty similar at the moment. You are just above me in
that's about right. There we go. Look at that.
Yeah. 6 points between us two and the Reverend, which he actually had something pop up at work just before, which why he couldn't make it. But if you want to go through your team, mate, the floor is yours on this. Some great picks.
Let's have a look. So this
45.
year I've tried to play a bit differently. I've tried to play a bit more aggressive this year. It's an actual thing that I've tried to do. It's a noted thing. Haaland captain over the last 3 weeks has been really annoying. Obviously, if I throw my captain's armband on somebody else, I probably have a much better week. Chris Wood is probably the name that jumps off the page, obviously, with me being a Blackburn fan, and I used to have the rule of I don't want any Burnley players in, and for the majority of the time that I was doing this podcast, Chris Wood was ineligible to play up front for my team because he was a Burnley player. Then he's been to Newcastle and now Forest, and he's banging the goals in for me, which is really helpful. I just want to give a shout out to Harry Winks in midfield. And a throwback to the FPL Social, Chaz. I think that was where we met you, right? Was it that FPL Social in Melbourne when we had the joke about Harry Winks?
Funny, oh, yeah.
I brought him back in as an enabler, and he got an assist for me the other week. So we're flying. So we're throwing it back a little bit to what, 2022 or whatever it is. Mate, it was a pretty average week for me outside of that.
That was a really good day. You know, meeting the legendary Lloyd Owusu as well.
Oh, mate. He, I will say, just on Lloyd Owusu, I did a video today for IFCPF, which is pretty much like the cerebral palsy football equivalent of FIFA. And he liked the post. He liked a post that I was in front of, that I voiced and filmed myself, did a piece to camera. And I just saw liked by Lloyd Owusu, and I was like, what a legend. Speaking of strikers, I just want to give a shout out to Nicholas Jackson, who I think, if you go back, Chaz, across my team history for the season, I think I jumped on Nicholas Jackson about game week 2 or 3. I jumped on him early. Go back. I want to have a look actually when I got on him, because I got on him early. I'm more meant off the previous screen, mate. Come on, you're an FPL. Here we go. Yeah, there we go. Game week 2, I had him in. That's right. I brought him in for the hat trick he scored. So I felt brilliant then, which was awesome. Or 4 even. See, it was that long ago. I forgot how many he scored. He got 4. So I brought him in for that week, and he nailed it for me. So I think he's my MVP of the season so far. Is my mate Nicholas Jackson up top. I think he's the one so far. But it's been an all right season for me. I'm probably at about mid-table, better than you, which is true to how it's always been, Chaz. So,
exactly, mate.
Get good, mate. Get good.
I've got a great comment here, by the way. This is great from Colin. I'm sure you may have already seen it, mate. Reedy's saying looks a lot younger.
That was what I was looking at before. That's what I was cracking up at. That is one of the harshest things that anyone's ever said to me. So there you go. A nice welcome back to the FPL Addicts community. Cheers, Cole. Oh, it's good to be back.
Oh, it is. That's right. So we've looked at how you've gone so far. If you're able to share it. If not, you can just say your ideas to what it is. What ideas do you have heading into game week 9? How many transfers? Have you still got your wild card intact?
Yeah, I've still got all my chips. I've got 3 wild cards. 3 wild cards? No, I don't. I've got 2 of those. I've got 3 transfers.
I wish we could have that, mate.
Yeah, I know. 3 transfers I've got this week, so I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to use them. I might move the armband off Haaland. I'm not particularly sure. If you just bring my team back up again, if you wouldn't mind.
Oh, yeah.
Chaz, just from last week, because I rolled into last week, and by rolled, I missed the deadline.
Gotcha.
So I think I was going to roll anyway, but I did end up rolling into the team that you're about to see on the screen if you're watching live on YouTube or wherever we stream nowadays. I don't even know. I got removed from the FPL.
We haven't moved out of YouTube yet.
I know that. I see them on YouTube all the time, but I'm out of all the FPL Addicts group chats, so I'm not even sure where we stream these days. I think Gabriel maybe is probably the pressing issue now. So maybe I think he's one of the 3 that I move. I think Konsa, probably because he's not been playing, is another one I'll move. So I'll just go on to defense and have a look into my defense, and then probably upgrade Harry Winks in my midfield for 3.
Okay.
I've not looked at who, but that's probably what I'll end up doing: is Konsa out, Winks out, Gabriel out for 3. So any help, the majority of that money is going to go into my midfield. So I'll probably downgrade Konsa, downgrade Gabriel, and whatever money's left will go into a midfield high-ranking enabler / good budget option. So if you've got any, I don't even know how much I have. I probably should have looked into this. It was a very quick thing to just log into the stream, so I haven't even had a chance to load up my FPL tab or anything. You can tell I'm out of sorts on this thing these days. Back in the day, it was a bit different.
Well, at the moment, your season is not really out of sorts, to be honest. I mean, middle. You said middle of the pack. That's the best way to put it.
Yeah, you're right. So I think that's about where I'm at, as you say. So this is what I'm working with, Chaz. I've not got my share screen on or anything, but I've got 15.3. I've got 15.3 million for 3 players, which is not a great position to be in if we're being brutally honest, in terms of trying to find value, because I can't really afford to go with a big hitter at the back. So to be somebody a little bit cheap. I heard you talking a little bit about James Justin before. I don't know if that's exactly where I'll go. In fact, you were talking about budget defenders, and I had to tune out to log on here. Who do you think the best sort of 4.5 around their option is at the back that I could maybe look at?
Well, Ryan Aitnouri from Wolves has a really good fixture run coming up. He's already had 4 attacking returns. A Brentford defender wouldn't. It's it's not a bad idea. I'll say that.
Brentford's fixtures look good,
I was going to say Vardy, but you've already got Rico Lewis. I think double City defense with a wave defender that's probably a bit much.
Maybe Nathan Collins.
Yeah, Collins.
So the ex-Burnley players in here. What's going on? Maybe Collins. Yeah. Maybe I'll stay 4.5 and then go another 4.5. I've got 6 million for a midfielder. That sounds okay, I think. Just downgrade on the defense. I'm not sure about Wolves defensively. I get the fact that attacking returns and all that are great.
Yeah.
But it is Wolves.
Yeah,
they are not a team that have kept a clean sheet this season. So I don't fancy that. I don't really want to go double Brentford with Pinnock. Actually, young Everton have got good fixtures, but then again, it's Everton.
Fulham?
So I don't really. Maybe, but like I said, I'm looking for cheap defenders. So if they've got anybody that's cheap, which.
Well, Colm's already recommended one.
Let me go over to the chat. Anderson at 4.3. Yeah, maybe actually. That might be the way to go. Yeah, you were talking about Anderson before, weren't you? Correct me if I'm wrong.
I was, very briefly, yeah.
I mean, yeah, like I say, he's out suspended, so I can't really afford to bench him, being honest. Maybe if I look at someone like Anthony Robinson.
Yeah, great shout.
For Fulham. And then I've got 6.1 for a midfielder. That's not a lot, but it probably gives me the opportunity to do something. If this was last year, I'll be going straight to Cole Palmer at this price, but it's another thing I can do this year, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Who can I get? Oh, Dwight McNeil. Let's get another ex-Burnley player.
Yeah, get him. I would have thought that too.
That's 3 ex-Burnley players. How do I feel about that? I'm not sure.
With a Blackburn Rovers poster at the back, that's like me wearing an Ipswich shirt, being an Arsenal supporter, and having Ange Postecoglou book.
Why Ipswich?
Look, can I be honest? I just have to rotate the shirts sometimes on the pod, so I just nabbed it off someone else, but I've given it back to him.
Yeah, right, okay. No, whatever works, mate. Whatever works.
Whatever works, that's right.
Whatever works.
Now, ripper stuff, Ollie. I think that's great. So, it's probably awesome. Your moves sorted.
I'm just trying to cycle through my team and move the magnets here, mate. So, you crack on as you were going, mate. You keep progressing. In fact, maybe that's the way to go. Maybe, I think that's the goal.
Yeah.
I can get to Dejan Kulusevski. So I think my moves will be Robinson, Kulusevski, and Collins in for the 3 aforementioned. And in fact, I'm 0.1 down. So I wouldn't go to Robinson. I'll go to like Calvin Bassey or something.
Yeah.
Because I want to go Fulham. So if I go to Calvin Bassey, I'll be in the budget. So that's the way I'll probably go. Sorry to go over the top of you there, mate. But
no, mate, all good, mate. You haven't been in here for a while, so it's just great to see your face and see how you're going.
Mate, I'm an FPL Addicts rookie these days. So that's the way things go. Yeah, I think maybe Calvin Bassey, I think, is the way to go, I think, the 3rd defender. So to complete the trio, it's Collins, it's Bassey, and it's Kulusevski. In for the 3 that I just mentioned dropping out, Gabriel, Konsa, and one of Harry Winks or Irabunum. Maybe Irabunum, given that he's injured, actually. So I might keep Harry Winks in.
Honestly, that's a great example of live transfers, but behind closed doors, mate. I love it. It's great.
This is what you get on this podcast, mate. This is exactly what you get.
Yeah, I did too last week.
Riveting content every single week. We love it.
Oh, that's good. Well, yeah, I've got actually 3 moves. I don't think I'm going to make 3 moves at the moment because I think a team is okay for what it is, but it's pretty much how it is. Fleck and Fab, Gab, Miko, I don't know, he's still there. Greaves just injured anyways. Trent, Aina, Saka flagged. Rogers, Mbeumo, McNeil, Johnson, Solanke, Haaland, and Wood. So if I go to pick team, it kind of just picks for itself at the moment. So look, I'll put Saka on field, but even if he was missing out, I don't see much merit in terms of bringing in a Cole Palmer or definitely not a Song because that's 3 attackers from Spurs already. Like, I'm fine with that for another week because transfers can be quite precious, especially when you have a rut. Now, this is the thing that annoyed me a lot is when I used those 2 early ones to Sal and Pedro, and then when it was time to wildcard, I only had 3 moves I could have made, and so I needed 7, 8 were required, 7 or 8 moves. But if I had 5 transfers and didn't use a move at all, that probably could have kept the wild card intact up to now. So that's a frustrating part. So I'll just roll what I got. There you go.
Yeah, and if you go to my share screen when you have a moment, Chaz,
yes, it's back. Let's go.
I will leak the team. I say leak. I will show my team for the week. This is what I'm going to run with. With Haaland getting one last look with the armband, I think Southampton at home is probably where you go. I still think he's the number 1 captain shout, despite the fact he's blanked in the Premier League, at least for the last, 3-4 weeks. Of course, got a double midweek in the Champions League. I think he's just on his way back to goal-scoring form in the league, and I think Southampton's defence, it's not exactly watertight, so I think he'll score at least once. So I've got confidence that he will grab a goal, and I'm pretty happy with how it looks. Mazraoui is the odd man out. He's the one on the bench, obviously, with him not starting last week. I'm not sure where his job security is, if he comes back in or not. So I think that's the way I'll probably go.
I love it. Oh, mate, this is good. This is solid.
Thoughts in the comments if you feel like they are necessary.
Well, what I love about this is that you're not tripling up on Luton like you were last season. That's where I believe the downfall began.
Was that only last season? Of course it was only last season. That's when Luton were in the Prem. Yeah, I forgot about that. That's probably, you're probably not wrong there.
Yeah.
Who did I have? Who was it that I had? I had Doughty.
You had Ogbene at one stage, Carlton Morris.
Oh, my goodness, I did. Oh, Carlton Morris is unreal, though.
Yeah, except for the double game week. Oh, God, that's a throwback now. Now they're crap in the championship.
They are not playing some good football.
No, not at all. How are you finding Blackburn's season?
We're doing well, mate. We're unbeaten at home. Yeah. We're flying at home. First drop points of the home campaign this morning was a 0-0 draw against West Brom. So we're doing all right. And I'm glad that Colm likes the team. I saw the comment earlier on saying that Kulu could be an inspired shout, and I like those. We've spoken about those before. Mine goes back to one Mark Gay, who ever since I brought him in has been England's best centre-half and has been unreal for Palace. So that was all because of me. Maybe Dejan Kulusevski is going to win a Ballon d'Or in 18 months. I don't know.
I love it. That's awesome stuff, Ollie. That's fantastic. Best of luck for this game week, more importantly. I appreciate you sharing the team. Awesome stuff. Ollie, you can do whatever. You're more than happy to stay if you like. I'd love you to. But if you got to go, by all means, do so. That's perfectly fine.
I think I might hop off, mate. But I am glad to be back, even if for like 10 minutes, even for a short camp. Right. It's good to be back. Good luck to everybody this week. And you heard it here first. Dan Kulusevski scoring a hat-trick. No, he's not. But
there you go.
All the best, everybody. And thanks for having us.
Thank you, Ollie. Thank you for joining. It was a pleasure. There you go on that. Well, guys, if he watches this back, I'll just say it as it is. That made my night, I think. Just him joining out of nowhere. That's why I was sort of a bit on the phone. So bear with me with the patience levels at times. But made it all worthwhile. It's just great to see him, more importantly. So, Ollie, great to see you. I hope to see a few more cameos. Let's say that. But Captain's Corner time we go now. Without further ado, we've got to start off with Norwegian. Now, nearly had a hat-trick of hat-tricks. It's a hat-trick of blanks. How he has fallen from grace, I will never know. But he has scored on both occasions against the Saints. And the Saints are in the foot of the Premier League table, haven't won a game yet this season. Haaland at home, pretty good. Just remember that. So with Haaland as a player, people's patience are wearing thin, but kind of doesn't need much more that needs to be said. Don't need to add more to the narrative that we already know. But he's a top option. It's a big weekend for him. He's just got to deliver. Simple as that. Mo Salah, second in line, 10 goals and 2 assists in his 14 Premier League appearances against Arsenal. Formidable dominance over the years. 4 returns in the last 4 game weeks. Speaking of 4, he's managed already 4 double-digit hauls in the first 8 game weeks. Third in line, 13 points in the corresponding meeting last season with a goal and an assist in a 3-2 home win, as he was just spiralling his way up to an end-of-season price tag of 6.3 million from 4.9. He's been involved in all of Chelsea's home goals this season, in which they've scored 6. He scored 4 of them and assisted 2. Son Heung-min is another away at Crystal Palace. Now, he did score in the corresponding fixture last season, which, funnily enough, occurred on Sunday, on the 27th of October, on the Friday. This season time round, it's also on the 27th of October. It could be written in the stars, sun is miles away, mission to your name, oh. 3 goals and 2 assists from 6 league appearances, an average 6.8 points per game. And there's more than any other Tottenham teammate. He has also played a part with 7 big chances already this season. 3 which he's created of his own. 4 for his own teammates. A rate of a big chance created every 73 minutes. Now it's time for your curveball. If you saw my video earlier today, Bryan Mbeumo, the Cameroonian international, at home to Ipswich. He has scored 5 goals in Brentford's 4 games. He has delivered when the Norwegian has not been able to. We saw it with his home games against Wolves and West Ham, games in which Haaland blanked. So if you thought different around that time, did pretty well in the captaincy shout. There's only one player in the game that has a better points per match per ratio than Brentford's star man. Not waiting in the sky because he's killing it on the football pitch. That is Everton's Dwight McNeil with 8.2 points per match, but he's not a captaincy shout for what it is. That is all for captaincy. Boom, boom, boom. Bryan Mbeumo's in the room. Don't forget that, guys. And Colm, you're not wrong. They don't get it at all. Like, what are they doing? This is what you get at the Addicts. Well, I was just on a Son frenzy there. No Harry Mack rapping every week. But let's see when my fantasy football season peaks. That's all for captaincy, and that is all for tonight. Look, I ran it mostly solo, but more importantly, it was actually so good to have a bit of a mind break, but also just a good fresh wave of energy coming into the frame. Oliver Walker-Peel. It's been refreshing to hear how well he's been doing recently too. So, Ollie, if you do somehow watch a snippet, thank you very much for tuning in as well. And to you guys that have joined, if you may be watching around the globe, thank you to you guys as well, especially those that watch every single week. Back next week, probably a Thursday, unfortunately, as well. There's a lot of people that want to see me. And the big announcement is, look, I'll just say it anyways. Who knows how long for? No expectation. I am off to the UK in 3 weeks. So, got to try and see as many people as I can. According to someone popular, for me, I'm just the absolute governor. So, we'll see. Yeah, best of luck. Thank you, Gary, as always. Colm, thank you too. Have a great game week, everyone. And with another game week comes another match day. And we are going to roll that match day sorted.